to put a true figure on the number of people living on the streets. Well, forces loyal to Muammar Gaddafi have attacked targets across Libya overnight, but the strikes appear to have had little effect on the morale or the determination of those who want to see the Libyan leader forced out. A wave of attacks hit AlJazeera, Benghazi, as well as AlJazeera. Troops also launched an assault on the Ras Lanouf oil refinery near Gaddafi's hometown of Sirte. And there are also reports of new battles breaking out in Misrata. The opposition has dismissed the attacks as an act of desperation. And Gaddafi himself has told reporters that the people of his country love him. Dan Nolan has this report.
Panic sets in on a highway near the eastern Libyan town of AlJazeera. Anti-government fighters try to divert traffic after what they say was an aerial attack from Muammar Gaddafi's forces.
Jets are bombing us. In every raid they dropped 4 bombs. They attacked AlJazeera from 4 different locations.
There's another explosion in the military. Sweatina military. You can see the smoke from there.
These pictures were filmed by Associated Press on Monday. Witnesses said the target was an ammunition dump taken over by opposition forces. As they wait with rocket-propelled grenades for a follow-up attack, a former Air Force pilot who's joined the rebel ranks made this plea to control Colonel Gaddafi.
Whether it is the European Union or the Arabs or America or even Russia, we ask them to just shut down this man's airspace. We are capable of taking him out by ourselves, but we are only requesting the international community to enforce a no-fly zone.
But the man he wants to take out is showing no signs of leaving, spending Monday telling international media that he has Libya's full support.
Me, all my people with me, they love me all.
But if they do love you...
They will die to protect me, my people.
If you say they do love you, then why are they capturing Benghazi and they say they're against you there? Why are they in Zawiya?
It is a guide. It is a guide, and not my people.
In an interview that will do little to convince the international community that he's of a sound state of mind, Colonel Gaddafi also laughed off mounting pressure to leave the country.
Who would leave his homeland? Why do I leave my homeland? Why do I leave Libya?
That means the bloodshed and fierce firefights aren't likely to stop anytime soon. This amateur video was uploaded on social media on Monday and is said to show fresh battles at Misrata Airport, a sprawling airbase that each side now partly controls. AlJazeera cannot independently verify it or another uploaded video said to show the aftermath of battles at the same airport on Sunday. Misrata is 200 kilometres to the east of Tripoli, its strategic value possibly best explained by the huge amount of weapons and ammunition now in the hands of those determined to bring Gaddafi down. Dan Nolan, AlJazeera.
Let's speak to Tony Birtley. He joins us now live from inside Benghazi. Tony, reports of bombardments overnight. What's the situation there right now?
Well, very calm, very quiet. I mean, I think you've got to understand in this situation there's a lot of panic, a lot of speculation and a lot of confusion. We were actually in that area at Jazeera yesterday and we heard what I thought was a sonic boom. People were very panicky. They said there's been an air attack. They said that many civilian people had been killed. Then they said that there was an attack on the town. Then there was an attack on a fuel depot. Then there was an attack on an arms depot. In the end, we didn't see anything. So we've only had the word of some people. There were plumes of black smoke, I have to say, but there is a very confused situation going on here, and it's very hard to get an exact handle on what's happening.
Tony, well, we heard reports of men signing up to join an army there in Benghazi in order to fight Gaddafi. What can you tell us about that, what you know of it, and also what are they planning to do? Are they planning to march on Tripoli?
Well, we're hearing these stories and we're talking to people about this mobilization. We've been told that young men and old men are coming from all over eastern Libya to sign up, if you like. Weapons are being handed in and stockpiled. So there is a plan. What the exact plan is, we don't know. They've got a very considerable obstacle in their way, and that's the town of Sirte, Gaddafi's hometown, and that's very heavily fortified. We understand something like 4,000 trained elite fighters. So there's a problem there. So they would have to try and circumvent, if you like. I think most people here are hopeful that it won't come to that in the end that Gaddafi will see sense and this will all end peacefully and he will go. But they are preparing because they have to. Although the international community is mobilizing and bringing sanctions and threatening whatever, they think that at the end of the day it's up to them, it rests on their shoulders to liberate the entire country.
And do they think that Gaddafi will see sense, considering the interview he gave to the international media saying that the people of Libya love him and that he will never leave?
I think love is a word they would not use down here. It's much more derogatory, much more insulting. This is a man that's hate. The thing that's come out in the last few days since we've been here is what's been happening in the last 42 years. It's quite incredible. The torture, the oppression, the disappearances. People just are taken away one day and they're never seen again. So there's a huge amount of hatred here. So people hope he will go, but they fear him still. There's still an element of fear that before he goes, there'll be a sting in the tail and they will attack. So they are concerned that his days are numbered, but what will he do in the remaining days?
All right, Tony Birtley, live in Benghazi. Thank you. Well, condemnation from outside Libya is mounting. Foreign ministers are in Geneva for a UN Human Rights Council meeting. They've agreed unanimously on action against Gaddafi.
The international community is speaking with one voice, and our message is unmistakable. These violations of universal rights are unacceptable and will not be tolerated.
We're trying to respond in real time to the crisis and, of course, to avoid the civil war that we fear, and making contingency plans to respond to the potential flow of refugees to neighbouring and to European countries.
The U.S., from its end, has frozen $30 billion in Libyan government assets, and it's moving its naval as well as air forces closer to Libya to help enforce any future no-fly zone. John Terrett reports.
After 2 weeks of beating around the bush, the White House came out punching over Libya on Monday. Spokesman Jay Carney says Gaddafi's lost all legitimacy in the eyes of his people and the world and must go.
He is no longer in a position to credibly lead his nation. And he is, in the meantime, inflicting horrific violence on the people he claims to serve and the people he claims love him.
Earlier, President Obama met the UN chief at the White House. On a visit to the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, Ban Ki-moon drew parallels between Libya and the past.
Once again, we are being tested. In Libya, a regime that has lost legitimacy has declared war on its own people. It's up to us, the community of nations, to stand against this crime.
The U.S. ambassador to the UN was less diplomatic about Colonel Gaddafi's latest statements on TV.
It sounds just frankly delusional. And when he can laugh in talking to